disposal. So thank you for that. I now welcome Mr. Akshat Khandelwal, CEO and founder, Nuflower Foods and Nutrition. Mr. Akshat will be speaking on industry solutions for treating malnutrition and NCDs.
Hello. Yeah, I think everyone can hear me, right? Excellent. Thank you so much. So I just want to begin my. Excuse me. Yeah, I just want to begin my piece by thanking Assocham for organizing this conference. I think these kinds of conferences tend to be very important because these are the only forums where the academia, the private sector, the government, the regulators, all of them can come together and discuss solutions. Now, my name is Akshat Khandelwal. I am the founder and CEO of Nuflower Foods. And what we do, Nuflower, the company, we specialize in the manufacturing of RUTF, ready-to-use therapeutic foods and supplements for famine relief and severe acute malnutrition. We also manufacture all sorts of nut butters and spreads, whether they be peanut butter, cashew butter, and so on and so forth. Now, I'm here to talk about what industry can do to treat the rising tide of malnutrition and NCDs. But I would also say that a lot of what I wanted to talk about was already covered by Dr. Agatha, so I'm just going to try and be as short as I can. But before that, at the cost of reiterating, let me just give you a quick idea of what the nutrition scenario looks. We know that malnutrition is pervasive in some way or the other. At the bottom in India, at the bottom of our social spectrum, we have the lingering effects of food insecurity and lack of holistic nutrition. So about a third of our children are still malnourished. Globally, the number of undernourished children actually exceeds hundreds of millions of children and has only gotten worse since the conflict in Ukraine broke out. And at the other end of the spectrum, as Dr. Agatha once again very nicely showed in her presentation, the urban populations and the middle classes are plagued with the trifecta of all metabolic disorders and non-communicable diseases. In particular, the life-threatening disease of diabetes, obesity, and the cardiovascular disorders. India is on its way to be the diabetic capital of the world. I think we have more than 70 million diabetics today and more than 100 million pre-diabetic folks. Obesity too is on the rise, as the National Family Health Survey 5 makes it very clear. 30% of urban adults, at the very least, are overweight or obese, and it's only rising from here. And I don't think I need to talk about the problems with obesity and diabetes that the rich world has, particularly the West. Now, I'm here to talk about what the industry can do to come up with solutions for these problems. But it is very difficult for me to talk about this without experiencing a sharp sense of irony. As I believe the food industry and the industrialization process itself has in many ways been responsible for the growth in various NCDs and metabolic disorders that we see today. Now, why is that the case? It is because much of the food industry has taken the easy path to developing products and getting consumers to buy their products. And the easy path is the high use of sugar, maltodextrin, and other carbohydrates in making a lot of the food products that we sell. The food industry has preferred these ingredients because they are cheap to manufacture and they make the final product unbelievably palatable. This has meant the usual packet of potato chips or the chocolate bar or even the protein bar tends to have a very high load of carbs and sugar, sometimes accounting for over 50% of the total grammage. And in the process propels and furthers the problem of unhealthy weight gain and diabetes, because we know that it is these ingredients that make a given food high glycemic index. These are the ones that cause insulin resistance. So what should the industry be doing? Now, here, as far as solutions are concerned, my central point here is that I do think that lack of micronutrients and the micronutrient deficiency in our diets is important. But I think an even bigger problem is our misaligned macros. Like the macronutrient intake in India averages about 80%, where 80% of our energy tend to come from carbs or sugar, which is pretty dangerous. So I believe that there are two cardinal lines of action that the industry can take to make their products healthier and treat NCDs and malnutrition. The first is to look at the vast untapped potential of plant-based ingredients, such as millets, pulses, and oilseeds, to source protein and fats at a very economical rate to solve the problem of excessive carbohydrates and sugar in all our products. Now, most oilseeds, especially peanuts, but also almonds and cashews, have more than 25% of their caloric intake from proteins. In the case of pulses, the proportion relaxes to about 20%, which is still very high. Groundnuts, millets, and pulses also prove to have very healthy fats and high fiber. Now, such a combination of high protein, high fiber, and high good fats make these foods low in their glycemic index. This is important to those who have diabetes and obesity issues, because insulin resistance, which is what causes diabetes, is caused by foods with a very high glycemic index. That is, foods that tend to be higher in carbs and sugar. And the problem of cost is also solved with these ingredients. And let me give you an example. Most of these ingredients tend to be at less than 50% the price of the cheapest meats that are out there. So compared with the cost of chicken, so a chicken would cost more than 250 rupees a kilo. Most peanuts, soy, etc., pulses, and all the other sources of protein that I've just mentioned would cost less than 100. The second line of action that the industry can take is to look at the avalanche of NCDs and continued presence of malnutrition in our country and abroad, to be honest, as an opportunity and a challenge. With urbanization and lifestyle changes and, yes, bad food products that pervade our supermarkets, obesity and diabetes and malnutrition are likely to keep rising. India may very well be the first country in the world to have the highest number of undernutrition and the highest number of diabetics as well. And this, I believe, should act as a call to action for the entire food and nutrition industry. The industry must doggedly decide to embrace such opportunities that are presenting themselves through new types of product development and recipe formulation that are available, and incorporate plant-based ingredients and other ingredients that I have just mentioned in my presentation. And it is precisely this opportunity, now to come back to what I do, what we do at Nuflower, that we have tried to embrace here at Nuflower. So at Nuflower, we work with ingredients such as peanuts, milk, but also soya, canola, and flaxseed oil to develop ready-to-eat therapeutic foods for organizations such as UNICEF and WFP, for the severely acute malnourished and those who need famine relief. Besides milk, the bedrock of the source of fats and proteins remains a base such as peanuts. And that is what allows us to price our products at a rate which makes it work for the world's poorest. So at less than 28 rupees per 100 grams, we are able to provide 530 calories, 14 grams of protein, and over 33 grams of fat. Our future business strategy is all about using such ingredients and using the kinds of know-how that we've developed over the past 5-7 years to build nutritional solutions now for the trifecta of metabolic disorders, which is the next big avalanche that we have to tackle, and use the same sources of protein, fiber, and fats as I just mentioned. The saying that every crisis is an opportunity is a cliche, but it's only a cliche because it's true. And therefore, I would simply end my piece by once again highlighting the profound opportunity that we have in terms of the series of health crises that are gripping India and abroad. We can use this opportunity to reinvent ourselves, reshape ourselves, and grow. That's about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Akshat, for that passionate call for action from industry, and congratulations on what you do at Nuflower. Thank you.